The sun had barely risen over the rolling hills of Greenridge when the quiet humming of morning chores echoed through Hope Meadows, a humble horse therapy ranch on the outskirts of Wyoming. Among the volunteers was 12-year-old Ellie Mae, a bright-eyed girl with tangled curls and a deep love for animals, especially horses. Ellie didn't speak much, and when she did, her words were careful and soft, as if plucked one at a time from a world only she could see. Diagnosed with autism at the age of 4, she had long been misunderstood by many, but not by horses. To Ellie, horses weren't wild or dangerous. They were just misunderstood, like her. Her favorite was a gentle mare named Cinnamon, who responded to her touch as if they'd known each other in another life. But today, something different stirred at the ranch. A black SUV pulled into the gravel driveway, dust rising behind its sleek tires. Out stepped Garrett Langston. A billionaire tech mogul with a reputation for arrogance and a checkbook that could buy anything, except humility. He wore designer boots that had never seen a day of mud and a sharp suit that looked painfully out of place among the hay and sweat. Flanked by 2 assistants and a local real estate agent, Garrett surveyed the ranch with an air of disinterest. "I'm buying this place," he muttered. "Not the horses. Just the land. Planning a spa retreat. Let the animals go or whatever." Sam Harper, the ranch owner and a retired vet, stiffened. "These horses help people heal. They matter, Mr. Langston." Garrett gave a cold laugh. "They're animals. Not therapists." Just then, a loud neigh pierced the conversation. In the far paddock, a muscular black stallion reared up, wild and untamed, his mane thrashing like a storm. His name was Thunder, a horse no one could break. Not even Sam. Garrett turned, intrigued. "That one's mine now." "He's not for sale," Sam replied firmly. "Everything's for sale," Garrett smirked. "What's the story with him?" "He was rescued from an illegal fighting ring," Sam said. "He's been through hell. Doesn't trust easily." "Figures," Garrett said. "Maybe he's just stubborn. He's traumatized." "That makes 2 of us," Garrett muttered under his breath. That evening, word of Garrett's plan spread through the small town. Hope Meadows was sacred ground for many, especially the families whose children found peace among the horses. Ellie heard the whispers but said nothing. Instead, she stood by Thunder's paddock, her small hand resting on the wooden fence as the stallion paced, nostrils flaring. "Hey, boy," she whispered, her voice almost inaudible. "I know how it feels, when people don't understand you." Thunder stopped. Just for a second. The next morning, Ellie returned early. Sam found her sitting cross-legged in the paddock, her eyes locked with Thunder's. The horse didn't charge. Didn't rear. He just watched her. Cautiously, curiously. Sam was about to call her back when Garrett's voice rang out. "Is this a joke?" The billionaire stood by the fence, arms crossed, amusement painted across his face. "This kid thinks she can tame that beast," he scoffed. "Shouldn't she be in school or something?" "She learns differently," Sam said sharply. "And she understands horses better than anyone I know." Garrett rolled his eyes. "Right. Let's all pretend the mute girl's some kind of horse whisperer now." Ellie looked down, her cheeks red. That's when Sam lost his patience. "You think your money gives you the right to belittle a child?" "I think logic does," Garrett replied. "That animal is broken. So's she. Neither one of them belongs here." Silence fell like a heavy curtain. Then, slowly, Ellie stood up and walked toward Thunder. The stallion flinched but didn't move. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a sugar cube, placing it gently on her palm. Thunder stepped forward. Hesitant. Snorting. One hoof after another. And then, he took it. The entire ranch seemed to exhale at once. Garrett's face froze. Ellie turned, her voice barely a whisper, "He's not broken. He just needed someone to listen. Garrett left without another word. But something had shifted. Over the next few days, Ellie spent every waking moment with Thunder. She never forced him, never pulled or yelled. She just sat, sang softly, and let him come to her. Slowly, the wild stallion began to trust her. He would nuzzle her shoulder, follow her gentle lead, and even allow her to run her fingers through his thick mane. People started coming by to watch. News spread. A girl who barely spoke had reached a horse no one could touch. One afternoon, Garrett returned, this time without an entourage. He stood quietly by the fence, watching Ellie lead Thunder through a simple obstacle course. The horse obeyed her soft gestures like they were music. "How?" he finally asked. Ellie looked at him. Her answer was simple. "I don't try to change him. I let him be." Garrett was quiet. For the first time, really looking at her. Later that evening, Sam found Garrett still sitting near the paddock. "When I was a kid," Garrett said suddenly, "my dad left. My mom remarried. Her new husband didn't like me. Said I was too sensitive. Called me broken. I buried myself in books, machines, code. I thought if I got rich enough, people would stop seeing me as weak." Sam didn't interrupt. "But watching that girl today," Garrett continued, "she didn't care what anyone thought. She just was. And that horse," he responded to that honesty. "That presence." He stood up. "Maybe this place isn't useless after all." The next morning, Ellie woke up to news that made her heart race. Garrett had pulled out of the development deal. He wasn't turning Hope Meadows into a spa anymore. Instead, he was funding its expansion. A month later, a sign was unveiled. The Thunder Program. Equine therapy for children with special needs. Funded by Garrett Langston. In attendance were families from all over the state. Children with autism, anxiety, PTSD, many of whom had never spoken more than a few words, laughed and played among the horses, free to be themselves. Garrett approached Ellie, a small box in his hand. "I had this made for you," he said, kneeling down. Inside was a small silver bracelet with a charm shaped like Thunder's hoof. "I used to think power was about controlling things," he said softly. "But you showed me, real strength is in understanding." "Thank you, Ellie." For the first time, Ellie smiled wide. "Thank you, for listening." Years passed, and the Thunder program grew into a nationwide model. Thousands of children found healing through the horses. Ellie became a certified trainer, specializing in equine therapy for kids on the spectrum. Thunder lived a long, happy life. And when he passed, he was buried beneath a flowering tree at the heart of the ranch, his legacy living on through every child who found peace in his gentle kind. As for Garrett, he visited often, no longer as a billionaire seeking deals, but as a man seeking connection. He often said the day he mocked Ellie was the day that saved him. It reminded him that wealth means nothing if your heart is bankrupt. And in a small, sun-soaked ranch in Wyoming, a girl once seen as different had changed the world, one horse, one heart at a time.